Hey everybody, my name is Chris Duncan. I'm a customer engineer here at Google Cloud. With today's demonstration, we're actually going to do a practical demonstration for anyone that is not an Apigee practitioner or Apigee practitioners that are looking to build out a skeleton proxy that's going to expose an LLM endpoint deployed via Vertex AI. If you're not familiar with Vertex AI is Google Cloud's premier platform in regards to helping organizations build, deploy, and manage custom models. So we have first-party models in this platform as well as third-party models in the market, including different providers. And we're going to actually build out a skeleton proxy with Apigee. And then once we're done with that, then we actually have a runway for access controls we can implement. So Apigee as a platform is Google Cloud's premier API management platform, where we have fine-grained gateway capabilities inside of this solution to help you implement security, as well as budgeting and chargebacks, semantic caching in regards to your requests and responses for your LLM endpoints, token limiting, where you want to limit tokens per user, orchestration capabilities in regards to transformations and being able to orchestrate between different LLM endpoints, as well as your API endpoints, and then Model Armor, which is a solution here at GCP that helps organizations manage the requests and the responses for the LLMs, and you can implement some level of governance based on your organizational requirements. With today's demonstration, I really wanted to show with this architecture how Apigee can act as an intermediary between client-facing applications as well as agents, where agents may leverage tools to be able to reach out to different models, and Apigee can act as that bridge to be able to achieve that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the demonstration. We have a short amount of time, so I actually have a lot to cover. So to navigate to Apigee in the GCP console, you would actually type in Apigee in the search bar here. This is the Apigee platform. And as I mentioned before, Apigee as a platform is an API management solution here at Google Cloud. Embedded in the solution, we have a host of API gateway capabilities. We also have analytics, and we also have developer ecosystem capabilities. So if you see on the left-hand side here, there's a lot of different things that we can do in this platform. We can build out reverse proxies, and we can also build a lot of capabilities in regards to managing our APIs as well as with integrations. We have distribution capabilities in regards to creating API products and being able to actually think of your API as a product and publishing your APIs externally and controlling who has access to those APIs, and monetization. Maybe you want to create a revenue channel there. Built-in analytics, where you want to see all the developer engagement and all the analytics in regards to your APIs. And then we also have some other capabilities as well, such as advanced API security and API Hub or catalog. With today's discussion and with the time that I have, we're going to actually talk about a template proxy that Apigee practitioners or anybody can make to help you expose an LLM that you may deploy in Vertex AI. So if we actually go to this proxy that I've actually already pre-created, we're going to actually dive into the actual skeleton details of this proxy. And for anybody that actually would like to go ahead and recreate this, you can do this as well in your own time. So let's dive into the proxy. At a high level, if you're not familiar with what an Apigee proxy or what a reverse proxy is in the platform, we have the ability to act as an intermediary between clients that are trying to reach to backend systems. And so organizations typically expose their APIs through an API gateway. That's essentially the same thing with this platform. And inside of this particular platform, we have a lot of capabilities that you can implement to control traffic from the clients all the way to the backend systems. So you can see here we have extension capabilities. We have mediation capabilities to transform data. We support GraphQL, JSON, XML, a lot of other transformation capabilities as well. And then security, that's key and top of mind for a lot of organizations that may want to implement OAuth 2.0 or API key validation, and a lot of other host of capabilities that we have to help manage traffic. We also have rate limiting capabilities and caching and native capabilities that make this platform best in class. So with this particular proxy, we're going to actually showcase a few things. I actually don't have any of these policies implemented here when you're creating your template proxy. If we actually look at the code here, or the XML, what we can see here is there's some minor configurations that I've added from a properties perspective. So I've added some request streaming enabled. I've also added response streaming enabled. This is going to be key because we're going to be speaking to an LLM behind this proxy. Then we also, on the target endpoint, if we actually go to this portion here, I actually don't have, I don't have any policies implemented here as well, right? So if you're creating this proxy, it's gonna be very simple for you. All inside of the XML from the target perspective, when we're targeting the LLM, I'm doing some things though. I do have some authentication here as well inside the proxy. This is going to be key because since we're going to be speaking to a service deployed via Vertex, we're going to need a Google Access token. Typically, you can add this as a header in your curl call, but within Apigee, we do support this natively where you can add this into your proxy. So when the proxy speaks to the endpoint, it'll generate a token. I also have a property for request streaming enabled. This is key as well because once again, we're talking to an LLM. And then lastly, I have the actual URL of the LLM. Now this endpoint in particular looks kind of weird. This endpoint is actually in the configuration of what's going to be typically seen in Vertex AI when you deploy an LLM. So we can see here, what I'm actually done is I'm actually using a property set. If you're not an Apigee practitioner, it may be a bit confusing, but what a property set is essentially is it's a configuration file. So if you see on the left-hand side of my screen, I actually have a configuration file I've called vertex config.properties. And what I've essentially done is I've actually taken the information for the endpoint that I deployed in Vertex, and you're going to see that in a moment. And I've taken that information and I've put it into this property file, and I'm just referencing the information via environment variables, right? So the dedicated endpoint for the LLM that's inside of here, I don't want to show this sensitive information. So this is essentially a way for me to showcase this in a demo. I also have my project details, my project ID for this Apigee deployment. I also have the location of the LLM as well as the, forgive me on that, as well as the endpoint ID as well for the LLM. You get all this information once you deploy it in Vertex. But all of this is in the property file and I'm just referencing it. So once you create this template proxy, save and deploy it. And now from this perspective, you have a template proxy. So now we're going to actually navigate to Vertex AI. Now, Vertex AI, if you're not familiar, this is Google Cloud's premier platform for organizations that are looking to create their own custom models, use Google first-party models as well as third-party models that are on the market. There's a lot of capabilities that the solution provides, such as Vertex AI Studio, Colab Enterprise, Model Garden, Vertex AI Agent Builder. What we're going to solely focus on here is the Model Garden, right? So if we actually click into here, the Model Garden is a really great place to start. We have a lot of different models here, such as language models, speech models, multimodal. Maybe you want a text generation model or text classification model. But what we're really going to focus on is the provider piece, right? So we have the Google specific models, Meta, Mistral, Anthropic. With today's demonstration, what I really wanted to focus on is one of the providers here. Hugging Face is a really great place to start, but we can try Mistral. And in particular, I actually want to target this text generation model, this Mistral Small, right? So if we actually click this model, you can deploy this model in Vertex AI and actually get an endpoint for the model and use that endpoint in your Apigee proxy, which is what we're going to target. But we can see here is that there's some information at a high level. The region's important. The machine spec, of course, you don't want to deploy something that's too big unless that's a part of your use case. And then, of course, you're going to have an access token to access this model. So if you actually go to the link here for Hugging Face, I'm actually going to go here. This link actually takes you to the model that's on Hugging Face. Think of Hugging Face as a platform that has open source models that you can gain access to, essentially a model playground, really, really great organization. So to use this model, what you're going to have to do first here is you're actually going to have to accept the terms and agreement. You're going to have to do this pretty much almost all the models, in particular, unless something has changed. And then this gives you some high level documentation on what this model can do at a high level and what the tokenization looks like and all the pieces from an inference perspective. And what I've also done here is now that I've accepted the terms and agreements, I've actually created an account seamlessly on Hugging Face, and now I can create a token to use this model. So if I actually create a token in real time, we can say Mistral test token, And then I would just simply choose some permissions for that token. We can just choose this one here, read access contents of all public gated repos. And we would create this token and we'd actually get the token information. So you're going to copy this and you're going to go to Vertex and you're going to actually paste this token here and you're going to deploy the model. Now, once you deploy the model, it's actually going to take you about 20 to 30 minutes, maybe less. It depends on your environment. From my perspective, I actually have already gone ahead and actually deployed this model about a week or so ago. And so you can see that here. So if I actually view my endpoints and models, once it's finished being deployed, I actually get an endpoint that I can use with my Apigee proxy, right? So this is the model. It's currently active. And here under the sample API request is going to be the information you're going to need for your proxy. And so this is going to give you the endpoint ID. This is going to give you the region and all the information that's applicable for Apigee. So I've already gone ahead and deployed it. And like I said before, once you deploy that model, input that information into your proxy here. And from that perspective, save and deploy the proxy and you should be good to go. You should be able to connect to the model. So what we're going to do from a demo perspective with the time that we have, as I said before, I've already deployed it and done that here. We're going to actually test this model now. So if I actually navigate to Postman, I like Postman for demos. It's very intuitive. But what we're going to do here is we're actually going to target the proxy that we created, right? So we actually have the host name for my Apigee environment here. So I actually have a host name for this environment that's exposed via an external load balancer. So I can access this Apigee environment externally. And then we also have the base path for the proxy, right? So this base path actually corresponds with the actual proxy here. So you can see this /v1/LLM. So when I try to hit that host name off the XLB, I should be able to hit this proxy. I actually have an environment variable here. I don't want to show my host name because it's publicly available. So I actually have the host name configured there. And then lastly, I have a JSON object. So this JSON object in particular is very, very simple. At a high level, this information, I'm actually going to reply this back. Actually, there was another one I tried before. How many times does the letter R appear in the word strawberry? This is going to be our prompt. And I actually have my max tokens. So I should be able to hit the model through the proxy. So if we can see that here, let's go ahead and see what the output's going to be. Great. We were able to hit the model and we can see the content here. The letter R appears 2 times in the word strawberry. So we hit the model successfully. We can actually see some high level information. We can see that this was the correct model that we deployed and we hit. And then we can see the prompt tokens, the total tokens. We can even go as far as to actually do a debug in the Apigee platform to actually see more fine-grained information here. So if I actually start a debug session and try that as well, I can actually see the flow of the proxy calls, right? So if I actually see here, I can hit this a couple of times. So we can see, let's get some prompts coming through. And so as these API calls come in, I should be able to see in the Apigee platform this information hit our debug session. And I can actually drill down into this as well and get some high level information from the client to the target and all the policies that I might have implemented from start to finish. And I get some high level information and I can actually drill down into this content at a high level. So with that being said, we created a proxy very seamlessly. This is just to get you started as an Apigee practitioner or someone that wants to expose a model. With that being said, now we can target some access controls. Now we can actually go ahead and start implementing some more fine-grained controls to control who has access to this model. And as I said before, we have a lot of built-in policies to do that. So be on the lookout for another video. Hopefully this was informative. Thank you for your time today. And I'm looking forward to talking to you about some more capabilities we can start adding to this demo. Thank you. So now what's next? We've finished the demonstration. So now we can really focus on access controls where we want to implement some mediation, some policy enforcement, monitoring, security, alerting, AI governance or API governance for your business, and some debugging capabilities. But what comes to mind from a capabilities perspective is now we can really focus on model routing and orchestration. Or maybe we want to really focus and hone in on semantic caching and performance where we want to boost LLM response times with some intelligent caching. Then we also are going to leverage some access control governance where we want to actually securely manage AI models through the Apigee platform. Then we also have businesses that are looking to budget and cost manage their LLM API usage effectively, where they're leveraging Apigee to do so and being able to control how much access different users across the business has from a token perspective. And then we also have other capabilities in regards to insights and analytics, where organizations are trying to look at the usage as well as coming up with chargeback and consumer trends, where you may want to come up with the monetization strategies for your AI APIs. So with that being said, thank you for the opportunity today. Apigee can absolutely support your production quality AI serving needs. We have these discussions with a lot of customers day in and day out, and I truly hope that I was able to provide some insight in regards to this platform and this demo. So thank you for your time, and until next time, thank you.